Hello, my name is Laurren Camp. I am coming to you from Santa Fe, New Mexico, and am very thrilled, very excited to read for the virtual Bad Mouth reading series. I have to say, I'm always excited to read for Bad Mouth. Rebecca does a beautiful job, and Rebecca and Erin before that assembled what is just a gorgeous reading series mixed with other sounds, other creativity in a funky warehouse space or creative space in Albuquerque. Typically, when we get to meet in person, it is just a joy to be there, to be with an audience that loves whatever you can offer them so much. It's palpable. So it's nice to be here with you in this way at this time. And it's especially nice because I have a brand new book. And I want to pull up a version of the cover so you can see it. There it is. The book is called Took House. It's out from Tupelo Press, August 2020. So right now it's brand new. I have been working on this book since 2005. The cover art, I want to shout out for the artist, Suzanne Sparge, who is an Albuquerque artist whose work is magnificent and mystifying and full of all kinds of possibilities. Her work is so perfect for this book and these poems. Okay, so back to the poems themselves. I'm going to read you several poems from the book. There's a core storyline to Took House, and around that are poems about predators and prey, raptors typically, and there are poems about visual art and the artist's process. So I'm going to start with one of those ekphrastic poems based on a Georgia O'Keeffe painting from 1949 called Black Place, Gray and Pink. And the poem itself is called Black Place. I sit between black lava and ash, dust brushed and shaken amid suggestion of bone, in the curve of the place without sky, rose-lipped clouds, first grinding of pigment and palette, knife, broken pastel, 1,000 forms of time. Quench. What I never needed folded out before me on a table by the bar. Sometimes we never stopped sitting. We sat, detached or wrapped in the hush under the low yellow vocation of light and pronounced swallows with a rigor of sinking. We wasted whatever we could of the day, and the prized light made me more peachy. I was promise. To him I was ear and action he could have where we sat. But right now he was clasped in the maze of drops on his tongue and waiting for seas to release. He needed this more than me and wiped his lips with what he preferred. He needed each trace taken up. The man bent his body toward the glass, and he chewed on the liquid and counted as the liquid crowded inside until it became the map of his simple, his heaven. Swainson's hawk, white throat and pointed wings, a perch in Spanish bayonet, in shinnery oak, in pasture. Small eyes tucking in to prey. I always forget the haste of dismantling the torn off evidence. Leopard, lizard, whiptail, kestrel, shrike. While stars are raw, a raptor feathered to the toes will eat grasped rats and voles. Collect the flapping bats. Another bone, Another funeral. The supply nearly endless. I'm arriving on time to a table. The mouth holds sorrows. Teeth cling to the soundless. The leaves and root, the sunset rushes by. Somewhere, a rabbit, warm in the hawk's beak. A glass. We never discuss, but right there, while I am hankering for a glass, he is drinking 5 with his insignificant mouth. We are moving toward linger, longer reminded of an instant uttered again. The book is about so many things. It's about intimacy. It's about connection. It's about confusion. It's about the predator-prey relationship. It's about time, witnessing. It's about what you find in it too. Some things that I can't tell you. So I'm going to read a few more poems. This next one is called Flavor. I'd been careful all my life. That day I wore my carmine shirt. Suddenly, his jaw, the table, the large room, many hands waiting to offer comfort. Where the walls sang, ours were fine, and the wine lazy, the taste of punishment as strong and sweet as pardon. 2 more poems. This next one is another acrostic poem based on the wall drawings of Saul LeWitt. And if you don't know them, they're rather amazing because LeWitt would create directions for people to follow. That was his artwork, not the artwork itself, but the directions, what to do, how to do it, perhaps how many times, in what space. And so museums and other art spaces have done these all over the place. There are hundreds of them, and they're always a little different. They are allowed to be different because the directions are specific, but also open. So there's a repetition, as there are in many of the acrostic poems in the book, a repetition, but an openness, a wideness to that vision. So the poem is called Draw a Box. On the white wall of your heart, a box. Without a ruler, I drew. Within the box, a word, anything you choose. I write, moan, lace, seed pod, stumble. Draw a circle that reaches the edges but does not exit the box, then a vertiginous series of lines rising over a valley. To the east, sun tips up as though in memory. Watch someone you know approach the box from the northeast edge by the wooden bridge. Quickly, draw a door on your box. Wearing black silk gloves, a small, beautiful woman reaches for the door. Listen to the cerulean sound of her swallows. The tones swoop forward and settle on the ceiling. When she exits, watch her walk up the steep hill to a brick house you hadn't seen before. Under her arm, she holds an old delphinium she found in the box. Turn off the lights in your box. Feel the missing sides of the box. The last poem I want to read is is called The Night Clouds Wrestled the Sky. And part of why I want to read it is because I've done some interviews for the book, and many people have already pulled on a specific line from this poem that sort of feels like it might be the through line, or the threaded line that runs along all the poems in the book and the story of the book in a way. So I will leave you with this poem, and with great thanks for being here, for listening, for watching. Be safe out there. Look for joy. Look for creative moments. The night clouds wrestled the sky. At that moment, I was blind to the sorrow and stop that was coming. For that gentle hour, I settled into the only split in the road where I still saw the purple reflection of day slipping from cedar and aspen. Air temperature as skin would shift to bare and brisk. But in the sky, unguarded orange shadows advanced, and clouds extended to unkempt corners, the desert's chambers of gray. Trees unfurled their fluted, five-petaled, veined fingers. Precision worth noting. What else should we look at but fugitive color, the shape that's not empty? So little of what happens belongs to us. Only the frequent sense of being encircled. After light was stripped from the scarlet wall, a string of birds armed long branches, rhapsodizing. I had entered the chatter-curved worship of their bursting, the song grafted to the moon's musky discipline. Once their noise was placed, it remained in my mind for years. Not a coincidence that I heard and saw a final stray sweep of sun as pigment and chord, and would summon it again next time I was swallowed, beat down. That night, the sky came up to my lips. It tasted of wind and gave me something to miss.